Ritual is a first-person shooter, action-adventure, MMO, RPG video game that was released in April of 2024, and it is the round-based experience that Call of Duty Zombies fans have been looking for. The question is it a good round-based experience? The round-based experience that was perfected by Call of Duty Zombies for over 15 years is one of my favorite things to play in a video game. To finally see a small indie dev take on this same formula has my interest piqued, and I'm interested to see their take on round-based. Today, I am taking a deep dive here on Sker Ritual on this exciting episode of Cynic Reviews. Join me and let's discuss. We both know that Sker Ritual is a COD Zombies-like game. You know, obviously heavily inspired from Call of Duty Zombies, which you and I both love.
Totally.
Yeah, we both love Call of Duty Zombies a lot. I think the one thing we should point out though is that while it's that round-based, experience that we've been looking for, I think while it is a great focus on round-based and a great alternative to Call of Duty Zombies, I think it's important to note that if you're looking for a classic round-based experience like before Cold War, you're probably not going to get that because it's actually more inspired from Cold War.
I totally agree. I think that a lot of the systems that are there feels like sort of a holdover, but also like an improvement on some systems from Cold War, but also like a response that a studio that has nothing to do with Activision or Treyarch or anything like that is doing, but because people want it, or I guess that it's cross-platform, and they integrated the cross-platform playing, you and I could play with PS5 people and PC people, and they integrated that very fucking quickly to the game.
Yeah, because when the game first launched, it didn't really have cross-platform, did it? You just could only play with other Xbox players.
With Steam or Xbox players, yeah.
Yeah, they put that in really fast. I think that came in maybe a month and a half after it released.
I don't even think it was I think it might have been a full month, but I wouldn't be surprised if it was a little less.
It's amazing how fast they
listen to feedback. Because it seemed
feedback.
very quick. It was one of their first sort of things.
It's really amazing how fast they listen to feedback, if you think about it. Because I brought up something simple that shouldn't even matter, like the colors on the perks on the HUD, and they responded to me directly, and then it wasn't very long after they added an option to color your perks. People got to understand, that's a little change, and they actually took feedback on that and listened to that, and that's a little fucking change. And then you get big changes like cross-platform, the way public matches were at launch, it was pretty fucking buggy, kind of borderline unplayable, and I feel like that's fixed now. And now you got
it's a completely different experience than it was at launch. I mean, at launch, your frames would be going crazy, and people would be disconnecting, especially on higher or even quote unquote higher rounds. It was nuts. You'd play a game with a bunch of people disconnecting, or the game would just crash.
And now it's a much smoother experience now. Then we got new weapons. They just recently added the PPSH, and they're probably going to add more new perks. We just got a new map that came out, and there's going to be another one. So these devs kind of almost work fast, and they listen fast.
And they're free. Yeah,
free. You cannot forget about the free maps, the free content updates. The only thing that's not free is the cosmetics, like the hats that you wear, but that's okay because that shit's $3? It's chump change, really. And honestly, I don't mind spending $3 here and there to buy some of that shit, because I feel like that just goes straight to the devs, and it's pretty good support, honestly. $3, it's not an insulting price like some COD outfits are, which is $30, really insulting. And if we're going to talk about price, this game was like what, $25 out the gate. You just buy, it's like
Exactly.
$25. Yeah, it's fucking cheap. And you get four maps out the gate with 4 individual battle passes that are all free cosmetics. You got what, dread levels, which is like what, 100 levels or something. It's tons of replayability in the game itself.
The dread levels are another like Game Pass equivalent, which is amazing because there's like 5 now, especially with the new addition to the map.
I don't think I fully understand the miracle system. I know it's like mostly similar to the what's it, the Covenants and Vanguard, but I feel like the miracles is a much deeper thing because you could continuously upgrade it, and if you combine it with others, it's like a more bigger effect. I could be wrong on that, but like I feel like I don't fully understand the miracles. But
oh no, I think they're definitely deeper than Vanguard by far.
oh yeah. Well, to circle back on the Cold War mechanics, because like I said earlier, because the point system functions the same way, the gameplay that kind of functions the same way with the amount of enemies that appear on screen. You got the basic enemy types to the elite enemy types to the bosses that spawn every 5 rounds. But it has all the stuff that you would get in round-based experience, like mystery box, wall weapons, pack-a-punch. You have it all. The only thing that's missing is the rarities, but the pack-a-punch is kind of like what you can pack-a-punch like what 5 times. And the great thing about pack-a-punching 5 times in this game is that each time you pack-a-punch, your weapon looks drastically different than the way it was. It's not just a camo change. It's like a whole fucking makeover of the weapon. Then you got all the power-ups. You got your typical, max ammo, insta-kill. You don't get double points. You get triple points. And then Safeguard, I still don't get what that fucking does. And then you got half price.
Safeguard reduces your damage intake.
So like if you get hit like 3 times, it's like what, 4 times, 5 times or something like that for 30 seconds? Okay.
I think it's a percentage. So if you have like the sort of like the higher health power up, same sort of idea, but it's a
Can we talk about half price? Half price is interesting because like it's a power up that only spawns when you don't fucking need it. And when you do need it, it's never around. But like when you're like getting a pack-a-punch or you want to pack-a-punch your gun and you want to do it at a cheap price so you can save your points, it's like half price never wants to show up. But like when you're like all decked out, that's when the half price wants to show up, and it always does me that way. It's funny, but I feel like the triple points and the half points worked great together, and I think it kind of balances that expensive economy system in this game, because Pack-a-Punch is hella expensive just to upgrade, especially when you get it past tier 2. Because there's like what, 5 tiers alone.
That's the thing that I think could actually use a little bit of work is is how expensive. I mean, I get the power increases, but there's got to be a way to earn more points with the same actions that isn't ridiculous. I mean, each time it's basically power up cost 5,000.
Yeah.
And then it goes to 15, and then it goes to 30, and then it goes to 60.
Yeah, it does. Yeah, 60,000 for the tier 5.
You know, during a half points, it's like, oh, I poop that many points, but anywhere else it's like it's a lot.
Let's talk about the difficulty settings. I think it's fantastic that this game kind of like has like 5 base options. So you got the recruit difficulty, I think, then the regular difficulty, then the hard, and then what is it, nightmare? So you got tons of difficulties to choose from, and you could change it at any point between round 1 and round 10, or you could just start the game off that way from the menus. It's really your choice on how hard you want the game to be and how easy you want it to be. Let's talk about the HUD, because you know how I feel about the HUD, especially in the recent Call of Duty titles.
It's number 1.
The HUD is great in this game.
Clearly it's not number 1.
The HUD is great in this game.
I really do like the HUD in Sker.
It not only is it great, but like you really do have the choice in the customization in what you want. You could have it be like Cold War and just have every information on the screen possible if that like tickles your fancy. Or you could be like me and cut off a lot of things and just have like a kind of minimalistic experience. Or you could just have no HUD at all, or just have it where it just shows the round counter and your ammo counter, and that's it. It's really your choice on what to do with the HUD. And I think that's great. And that's even more telling that 5 people can implement this compared to a $1 billion corporation that can only give you presets. The stories or the Easter egg quest are pretty good. It's not overly difficult like some of the early COD zombie titles, and I think it's kind of like Cold War level easy, but I think that's fine because as long as the quest makes sense, I think you win in my book because it has to make sense. The steps have to make sense and it can't be something ridiculous like shooting at a rock. But I think all the quests and puzzles that Sker Ritual offers in all 4 maps, it's really fantastic. And I think it adds good replayability and I think it's good. I just think it's good. I'm not an Easter egg expert because, you know, I'm kind of out the game. I'm out the game. I'm not in it like I used to be because I just stopped doing Easter eggs. I mean, I got back into it in Cold War because they were kind of easier, which I liked. And, you know, Sker Ritual does that. But I think they're all fantastic. They all make sense. They all flow well. And I can't complain about the Easter egg steps. And then you got the hidden Easter eggs, which take you to the God Killer weapon, which I don't have. But I know you have it. So I'm going to let you speak on that because you have more experience with the God Killer than I do.
Oh, I got to say, the God Killer weapon, I think it's a fucking blast.
Bring it on. Bring it on. Bring it on. Let's go. Bring it on. Let's go. Let's.
Oh shit, we can go into each other's character models now?
Yeah. Let's start with this. What's your favorite map out of all 4 maps that launched with this game?
I have got to say my favorite map, Lavernok. I think that the layout being huge and open, especially at the start, where like you have a couple ways that you want to go, or a couple ways that you can go from the entrance, is great. And it sort of opens up what you can do instead of being trapped in a church or trapped in a tiny location that, like, instead you can move. And I think that that's important for someone who is just playing this maybe for the first time or sort of a game like it.
Which one is your least favorite out of the 4 maps?
Sewers of the Dead.
I agree with you on that one.
Oh yeah, definitely Sewers of the Dead.
Sewers of the Dead is my least favorite.
I think
something about the map just doesn't appeal to me. I don't know what it is. It kind of reminds me the Shinonuma of this game to me. And it's not like Sewers of the Dead or Shinonuma are bad maps. It's just kind of like those maps that, you know, when I'm looking at the menu and I'm trying to figure out what to play, they're not my first pick.
Like the least.
Yeah, the shining part to me of Sewers of the Dead is the boss fight area. I don't know why, but I think the boss fight area, when you're doing the main quest Easter egg, is the most visually appealing part and probably the most fun to me. I think fighting that big ass stranger fucking dude is pretty fun. And I think that, like, while it's my least favorite map, the boss fight and the boss fight arena take the cake for me by far. It wins. It's the best one in the game. Daily Lover's Fortress, I kind of has like this epic feel to it. You're at like this like snowy castle-like area, and there's like a lot to do. You're already fighting a boss fight as soon as you open the fucking gate. Then you fight another one to turn on the power around the map or to get access to the map. And then to access more areas of the map or to, like, you know, get to the boss fight, you're doing these weird little quest puzzle things that you got to match in the fucking test subject area. I don't know. It just kind of feels big because then once you get past that area, you're fighting all the previous bosses in the other maps. And it just has like a big feel to me. Okay, I like the wonder weapon, the fucking sword you slash people with. I think the boss fight's interesting. I don't know. I think that one's going to be an underrated map. Like in the long run, like I feel like people are just going to be sleeping on Deadly Lover's Fortress. My favorite map, Sker Hotel, and the reason why I enjoyed that map so much is because it is so tight and confined compared to the other maps, and it just reminds me so much of like the OG COD Zombies days, like from World at War, from Nacht and Verrucht, where like you're confined to a building, you can't get out, and I think it really adds to that feeling when you go down to those hallways, and like when the power goes out, it goes dark, and then you got to fight those electric enemies. Oh my god, the feeling is intense. Sker Hotel is my favorite one, and then after that it's Lavernok. And the reason why I love Lavernok so much is because to me it feels like a fucked up offspring baby of like from Resident Evil 4 and World War II Nazi zombies, because the enemies are the villagers and some areas just feel like to me it's from Resident Evil 4, and then when you get to the underground, that's where the World War II Nazi zombies feels come in, like from the morgue, the electrical area. I don't know, it just feels like a fucked up offspring from RE4 and World War II, and that's why I personally love it. one more thing we got to talk about is how the zombies, you and I talked about this, how so fucking funny it is when zombies just spawn. You can watch the zombies spawn. Like they just poop peer out of nowhere. Like because they got green areas everywhere where you watch zombies spawn in, and like I feel like the developers could like done a better job at hiding zombies just spawning in, because when you just see zombies like poof out of nowhere, it just looks so tacky. But like I can't complain about it too much because it's so bad that it's charming. I think it could only go up from here if, like, I really do want this game to succeed, and I really want more in the future. And we're getting more in the future, but, like, I want more and more. Like, I want a Sker Ritual 2 in the future. Yeah, these 5 motherfuckers need a budget. They need a budget because I think they got something special here. And I think if this game succeeds, which is what we need and what we should, is what everybody should cheer on for. I don't like people calling this a COD killer because, like, calling this game a COD killer, you're just upsetting everybody because, like, COD fanboys are very protective of their series, and when they see a game that's a competitor be labeled as a COD killer, they see that as a means to talk shit. Yeah, fuck that game, talk shit on it. Half of the review videos I've seen on YouTube have, like, called this shit the COD killer, and I don't like that because you're just causing tribal shit for no reason. So we do need to root for the success of this game, for not only just this game, COD, and it could spawn more round-based like games, because how the fuck is, like, round-based is so good. Like, Call of Duty Zombies has done it for so long, and this game is knocks out the park. I don't know why more developers aren't trying this formula out. Like, fuck, even if, like, Resident Evil tried this shit out, instead of doing those fucking shitty multiplayer games that nobody wants, if they actually wanted to do, like, some co-op shit, why couldn't Resident Evil do, like, a Resident Evil round-based game? Like, it's such a good formula that I'm surprised more people out there aren't doing it, and I really would love more of that. Yeah, it's amazing what the people who made 10 Dates can do. 10 Dates to a game about ritual ass people coming for your ass. I think this game's great. It's fantastic. Worth your $25 if you're looking for an alternative to Call of Duty Zombies. You got 4 maps in the game already. Tons of replayability, from the Easter eggs to the leveling itself to leveling up your free battle passes. You got tons of stuff to do, and it's only $25. That's fucking impressive. And I think if anyone who hasn't gotten this fucking game yet, you probably should. I'm 3 months late of this game coming out, but, like, I don't give a fuck. This game's great. And I will be playing this game and talking about this game far more in the future. This was a collaboration between me and my good buddy, the GOAT, or New. That's his gamer tag. It was a great experience talking with him because he's just as much as a fan of round-based and Call of Duty Zombies the way I am. And we both appreciate Sker Ritual. We love this game. And I'm excited to experience more content from this series in the future. But anyways, my name is Cynic Michael, and I just don't miss.